What's up, movie tree Schmoedown fans? I'm back with another Schmoedown reaction, and I got my popcorn ready because this time it's the first of a two-parter, which is the Quirky Mercs versus Corruption, starting off with Marisol Mckee of Corruption versus Kevin Smith of the Quirky Mercs. Obviously, I got my Quirky Mercs merch. I got my my Quirky Mercs merch on, and I also have my Corruption merch because this is the one match in this entire thing that I just don't know who to root for because I love them both. I love Kevin Smith. Obviously, he's playing on my favorite faction, the Quirky Mercs, but I also love Marisol. She's my favorite competitor of the last 2 years, in singles at least. I adore this lady and what she's been able to accomplish in her short time in the Schmoedown, and coming in from like the fan leagues, and she was a fan. She walked up to Janine the Machine in a live event and told her how much she's a huge fan of her and how much she hopes that one day she could do what she's doing right now. And then fast forward a couple of years, not only does she get to play and beat Janine at this game, but now she gets to play Kevin Smith of all people. Like, okay, when Kevin Smith came into the league, okay, so he played Chris Jericho, a wrestler, another celebrity in the Schmoedown. Okay, fine. He gets to play the Flirt and Flouse of all people. So yeah, it was kind of like, oh, so he only plays like these types of characters. Then he's playing Stacey Howard, a known Schmoedown legend, I should say. Now he's playing essentially a rookie in her second year. So that's just a crazy turn of events. Obviously, I got my popcorn because this being a general trivia match, there's no way I'm getting any questions right, am I? I showed what I know in Star Wars and Inner Geekdom. That's enough for me. I think I might have gotten a similar point in both of them, but whatever. This is for all the marbles. This is Corruption versus the Mercs, part 1 of tonight. Here we go. Oh yeah, and they also had a scene.
I wanted to take a second
for the last match, but I didn't see it because, well, I saw it, but
and also I
didn't record it.
What?
Oh boy.
What did I do?
Jay, you helped me out, man. Like a good manager would. You knew exactly what you were doing when you set Marisol up for success, and I couldn't be more grateful to you for it. You did that.
I didn't.
That's not really what he was trying to do.
What are you doing?
That woman got ears everywhere.
Grace, she isn't even here, Jay.
You just don't know. They want me certified to be crazy. Okay, look. Okay. Yes, I knew Marisol would win these things. I put everything in order for a reason.
Really?
That happened. The change room thing. I got plans. Okay. What more do you want from me?
I want you to help me get Grace out of here for good.
Wait, you want me to help you get rid of the woman that gave me this job and gives me W-2s that I get to file for taxes?
Yeah, I do.
I'm not saying yes to that, but
also not saying no.
I'm not saying no either. What this is too much. I'm a...
Bye, Jay.
What exactly does she have on him?
Oh yeah, we definitely got him.
Okay. Things are getting interesting. Come on.
Thank you, Jen, and oh my God, we are here. It is the #1 contender match in the singles division. What an event we've had so far. The collision has been fire so far, and now, Mark, we are getting to it. It is the #1 contender match for the singles championship. Marisol Mckee, Lady Justice, 4-1 against Kevin Good Enough Smith, 3-0 and 2 knockouts. What a crazy, crazy match it will be today.
Christian, the singles division, the one that started it all way back in the 1800s, now has two competitors of unequaled potential, because you look at Marisol Mckee and her young career. She's already soaring with the Eagles high above the movie trivia Schmoedown landscape, but in her way to a championship is a Jersey Devil whose movie trivia knowledge is so hellaciously deep it reaches into the very fiery pits of hell itself. Will Kevin Goodenough Smith bare his tusks and get to the championship match?
I'll be right back.
Will it be the talons of the very symbol of Americana reaching that height? This is going to be a good one, partner.
It's going to be a really good one because both of these competitors are red hot. You look at what Kevin Smith did as a rookie last year. He defeated both Chris Jericho and Zaflurtenflaus, and then he TKO'd not only Zaflurtenflaus, Stacey Howard, which no one thought he was going to be able to do. Everyone's like, oh, okay, Kevin, he's a celebrity. He's not going to. He did fun in those first two, and then he got the Whoopi Goldberg category, and that's all she wrote. Well, found himself at 3-0. Marisol Mckee has been really, really working this. Remember, she started out against Vinny, and it was like, okay, it was a tough one. She got her victory. Then Video Drew, and then Janine the Machine in one of the greatest matches we've seen in a very long time. But she's 4-1 right now. Should she win today, she will be the first woman to play for the singles championship since Clark Wolf in 2018. If Kevin wins here today, he'll be the first rookie to be 4-0 since, I believe, Collins was 7-0 last year, but another undefeated rookie going for the championship.
And it's just been so impressive to watch these two careers in the movie trivia Schmoedown, because when you talk about Lady Justice, you talk about someone who seems to play better when the pressure is greater. It's those 3-pointers, those 5-pointers that she always just seems to come up big in the clutch. But with Kevin Smith, look, he's used to ordering around people on set. He knows a thing or two about authority, and he is looking to drop the hammer on Lady Justice today.
Well, we are going to see how both of our competitors got exactly where we are today. Here we go.
I was so in the zone, so zen, so Jedi. It's an area that I can compete. Until Schmoedown adds a physical challenge, I think I got this.
Smith is for real. Kevin Smith is for real. He didn't just beat Zaflurtenflaus. He didn't just beat Jericho. He beat Stacey Howard.
I do know a thing or two about movies. That's where it all begins, because in order to become a director, you gotta what? Love movies.
Better and better with every match he plays. His record is now 3-0. And not only do I think he's got a bright future as a director, as a Schmoedown competitor, he is someone to be feared.
Marisol Mckee has been traded from the den to corruption.
Welcome home, Lady Justice. You made it just in time for war.
Lady Justice, how are you feeling after that win? I know there was a lot of hype about you.
After today, I just want to let everybody know that the defense rests. Justice is here, and she's here to stay.
Senor Smith.
Senor Smith.
The court recognizes your unique body of work within the Schmoedown, but you're a novelty that has passed its expiration date.
Whoa!
On a great match, the Video Drew picks up 2 points for corruption. Starting the beginning of corruption, she sees herself going to play Janine the Machine. Now she is 3-1.
Well, we had one mission today, specifically today, and that was justice for Dewberry. And like I said earlier, this was just the start of the justice train. This is going to be a situation of two titans colliding with each other, and I'm ready to take it to the wire.
And your winner, advancing to the collision, Lady Justice, Marisol Mckee.
That was a spectacular level match. You now have a #1 contender match. A #1 contender match. Let that sink in against Kevin Smith at Collision.
2 years ago, you're a fan of Orlando. Now you're going up against Kevin Smith. You're to face Kevin Smith in the #1 contenders match.
I hope you enjoyed playing a few scrubs, because you're about to get a hard dose of reality. When you become merely another notch on the lady's gavel.
The name of the game tonight is Destiny.
let's just face it, it's not Kevin Smith's destiny to be the next movie trivia Schmoedown singles champion of the world. It is, however, Lady Justice's.
I feel like I'm in my lane. I feel like I could get into a shot at the title.
I have already coached a team to the belt. I've coached a Star Wars champion to the belt. He knows the game and he knows the trivia, and it's just a matter of when the next match is scheduled to make it happen. The man's getting the belt.
I'm ready to be the first woman since the great Clark Wolf to challenge for that singles belt. And it's fitting that I'm playing here today, because I'm colliding all right with destiny.
I mean, come on. I want to start watching. I mean, it's almost like I wish we were just like sitting and watching this match, but hey, we got the best front row seat possible, partner.
This is going to be a good one. They both have knockout potential, which when they clash means we're probably going to be going the distance. This is going to be a fun one. For everybody watching out there, this is why we do events like the Collision. It's not because of Christian Knights, because we have talent in the form of Lady Justice, of Good Enough, and their managers, nothing to sneeze at either there, Christian.
Not at all. This is a big match. Both Corruption and Quirky Mercs have a big amount of points on the board here today. We already saw those first two matches and the Star Wars match, and now there is this match. We are ready. Mark, are you ready?
Like I said in the first match that we had in this suit, it feels tighter than it used to, so the quickest way to get me out of it is to start the match.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for three rounds in the singles division. Introducing first, representing the Quirky Mercs, with a record of 3 wins, no defeats, and 2 knockouts. He is Kevin Goodenough Smith! Kevin Goodenough Smith sporting the Quirky Mercs Kevin Smith exclusive jersey available now on stores. Look at that. Unbelievable. Look at that Quirky Merc. That is awesome, Kevin. From what you've done so far, dude, in this league, it has been so fun to watch. 3-0, and I think that last match after you played Stacey Howard, did you see the Schmoedown community go, oh, wait a minute, this guy really knows what the hell he's doing in this game?
I felt acceptance for the first time anywhere. I'll be honest with you, not just here in the Schmoedown, but like anywhere. I felt utter acceptance. Been in this business nearly 30 years, right? Never felt acceptance from the Hollywood community. Finally felt acceptance when I could put some wins on the board, man. But may come to an end today, because when I was a kid, fortune teller told my parents, your son will rise like a phoenix until he slams into the portmanteau. And my whole life I've been waiting to face the portmanteau, that which would unseat me. And I don't know if you gentlemen know this, but Marisol is a portmanteau. Is putting together 2 words, man. It means sea and sun. So we're going to see, son, that I might lose tonight. That's what I'm afraid of.
I just know I am sipping on the wrong beverage right now. Kevin, let me take you back a few decades to when you're on the set of Clerks and you're making a movie, making your way in the world. If I had told that Kevin Smith that one day in 2021, you're going to be competing in movie trivia in front of a worldwide audience against the very concept of justice itself, what would you say to that?
As a longtime Batman fan, I would say he's got to have to throw it. I can't stand for 2 things. I can't stand for winning and for justice. So unless I can justly win, I got to lay down I don't even have a crown yet. I got to lay down my hat.
Well, speaking of the crown, though, number one contender match here. You know, you get an opportunity to go for the title should you win today. I know Shannon's been talking a lot of smack on it. You've been in the smack game already. You went against the Flirt and Flouse. You go against Shannon here, too. But going up, because I remember talking to you back in the day, you're like, look, man, I want a shot at the title. You're one step away, though. I know you're taking Marisol seriously, but is the title shot in your second season something you're looking forward to trying to do?
Believe me, I would like to. It would definitely be something to kind of shape the next year of my life, which right now is a bit amorphous. But you got to be real, man. Like sooner or later, you know, unless you're that football kid that keeps winning trophies. I don't watch sports, so I don't know his name. But unless you're that boy, you got to lose sooner or later. Unless you're Wayne Gretzky, there's something I can address. Sooner or later, you got to lose. And I feel like, you know, my Cinderella story, you know, comes to a crashing halt tonight. I feel like the glass slipper gets left on the stairs and Marisol picks it up and then puts it on and people are like, you only have one. And she's like, oh, I'll get the other. And then I don't remember the rest of the story. The metaphor fell apart. But I feel like tonight might be the night that my dreams come crashing to the earth.
I'm sure Coy is just ecstatic to hear the confidence coming out of you. Well, good luck to you, sir. And we are going to just bring in your opponent
with the quirky
right
words.
And his opponent, representing Corruption, with a record of 4 wins, 1 defeat, she is Lady Justice Marisol Mckee. Lady Justice Marisol Mckee, the brand new theme by David B. An epic theme at that, an epic entrance for an epic season thus far, Marisol. You have been playing really, really well, and now you play against Kevin Smith. You saw what he did against Stacey Howard. What and how have you been preparing for Good Enough?
I've been approaching him like everybody else. And don't be fooled, okay? I'm not going to be swayed by this sudden humility and flattery by Smith's party over here. I know I'm dealing with someone with some ammunition, all right, behind those eyes. All right, as glazed over as they may be. I know there's a killer lurking there. So the court is not fooled. The court is not swayed by this sudden humility. And that's how we've approached this from the get-go. And I'm ready to face him as a championship level opponent today. Because I know
you mentioned championships, and he ostensibly referenced the quarterback Tom Brady. You know something about beating Tom Brady in a big game. And so what is the strategy of beating Kevin Smith, a guy who you've probably been a fan of since you can remember? Now you have to face him. So how do you pound the gavel on someone who you've admired?
Remember that in front of the eyes of the court, everyone is equal. Even esteemed directors. And that's what I'm here to prove today, that everyone is equal and no one is above justice. So I think we can see a bunch of that today. I know we've been investigating Mr. Smith further. I see all these KOs on his record and zero losses and a lot of dominance. So I haven't mentioned this to him, but he should be aware that there is also an investigation into some clear performance-enhancing substances that we think we're seeing on display. So he's not off the hook.
I think you might actually just get video proof halfway through the match. So, all right.
I'm sorry, kids. I'm enjoying my last few moments of allowing my hands to be below the frame line because, as we all know, at a certain point, it's all hands up so that you can't be cheating or anything like that.
That's right. It's all hands up. Thank you very much.
Everything, and I'm ready. My hands are ready to go.
All right, so with that, the 2 competitors for the number 1 contender match in the singles division have entered. Mark, please tell us the rules of round number 1.
The great Kevin Smith doing my PSAs for me. You see, Schmoedown competitors, if Kevin Smith can keep his hands up, so can you. We now get to the rules of round number 1. 8 questions from 8 different categories of movie, trivia, Schmoedown goodness. Each question's worth 1 point. There is no penalty for missing a question. There is no stealing. At least there isn't in round number 1. We'll ask the question, and the competitors have 15 seconds to write down your best attempt at an answer with whatever writing surface you prefer. Once we ask you by name or nickname, please show what you wrote to your camera. At the same time, you verbalize your attempt into the microphone. Penmanship, spelling are forgiven. We'll look at everything else as it comes. And speaking of that, each competitor does have a challenge they may issue at any point. We'll bring in managers, deliberate to our heart's content, and then it will ultimately be your manager that confirms and ratifies if said challenge is taking place. If you're not sure you heard a question right, you just want to buy yourself another 15 seconds to get that correct answer, use a JTE rule. You can also just simply say repeat. We'll repeat the question. You have 3 of those each throughout the duration of the 3-round match. Christian, it was all fun and games, and now I'm starting to see some focus.
All right, so we start with Kevin Smith. Are you ready?
I'm so prepared, sir, as ready as I can be. As we all know, Marisol is a shortened form of Maria del Soledad, Mary of the Solitude. I went to Catholic school. I don't know if you guys know this or not. I never really mentioned it in my work. So, I feel like I'm not just fighting Lady Justice, but perhaps the Virgin Mary herself. So I don't know if I could do this.
Lady Justice, are you ready?
Well, hold on to your butts, because court's in session, Smith.
Then let's get ready to Schmoedown! Round number 1, category number 1, and we are going to start in animated films.
Okay.
Ben Stiller voices Alex the Lion in which animated film franchise? So far, you got Marisol Mckee, Kevin Smith. Question number 1, we're underway, Mark.
That's right. Animated movies.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, please. We start with Marisol.
Madagascar.
Yes, Kevin.
Madagascar.
All right, so Madagascar is correct. 1-1 as we get to question 2.
Once again, Lady Justice winning the war of handwriting, but it is 1-1. Your next category is in the realm of mystery. These are mystery movies, not a mixed bag category. Your question for a point. In what comedic mystery film does Tim Curry say the line, "We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what"?
Let's see, even though there might be a little silliness going on, the intensity is there from both competitors.
You think he's just acting humble, don't you?
Yes. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, and we start with Kevin.
Is it Clue?
I have no clue.
Yes, sir. And Marisol.
Clue.
We're tied up 2-2 as we get to question 3. We're going to go with new releases. Who directed Wonder Woman 1984?
All right, Christian, if I tell you the year 1984, first thing that pops into your noggin, what do you got?
Oh, I'm talking about it too much. Temple of Doom.
You sure it's not a baby smoking a cigarette with a Van Halen?
Red Dawn, maybe. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, please. Pens down, hands up, please. And we start with Marisol.
Patty!
The great Patty Jenkins.
Yes,
Jenkins!
I hit a stoner moment, man. I hit a speed bump.
Didn't happen. Didn't happen. All right, so Marisol goes up by 1 here, 3-2. Marisol over Kevin Smith by 1.
Am I outscoring Kevin Smith?
We moved to a ceremony Kevin might have been invited to in the past. That is the Oscars. And I spoke too soon. Someday, kid. Someday we'll all get there. For a point, your question about the ceremony that we've all watched on TV at least. Who won the Best Actor Oscar as an elderly man struggling with dementia for the 2020 film The Father?
So Marisol Mckee strikes first blood here by 1, as it is 3-2 with question number 4.
That's right. She's still in the running for that bonus question. Could be a bonus point. Could loom large later.
4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up. We start with Kevin.
Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins. Sir Anthony Hopkins.
Sir
Yes,
Lord
sir.
Anthony Hopkins.
And Marisol Mckee.
Anthony Hopkins.
Marisol has not missed. It is 4-3 as we get to question number 5. We're going to go with dramas.
Dramas.
Which actress starred in the films Notes on a Scandal, The Curious Case of Benjamin Button, and Where'd You Go, Bernadette?
These are three very
I got 4 points.
eclectic titles.
I was
Yeah.
outscoring
You
Kevin
know?
Smith for a while.
It shows the skill of this particular person.
I think I
I
can
see what you did. Yeah.
give my
4,
writing hands a rest for
3, 2, 1. Pens down, hands up, please. And we're going to start here with Marisol Mckee.
Kate Blanchett.
Yes, Kevin.
Do we have to do last names? I said Kate.
Yeah, we can't accept Kate.
How many Kates are there in this business? C-A-T-E.
Could be Kate Winslet. Could be Kate.
Yes, that's K-A-T-E. I said how many C-A-T-Es are.
Would you want to challenge that?
She's like Madonna. She's like Cher. Absolutely, Kate.
You're gonna challenge that?
Bring in the manager, and it will be the manager that decides if the challenge is going through. So, Coy?
Well, you see, the thing about working in this town is there's a certain shorthand, and I imagine Kevin and Kate know one another, and Kate in question is very clear with the C-A-T-E usage. I would argue it's a very specific name, and Kate is the actor in play, so I think it stands.
So you want to use that challenge, Coy? Okay. Okay, Coy's going to use the challenge, and Shannon, do you have a counter?
Do I have a counter? Do I actually need to verbalize this counter? Are you all seeing what's happening here?
You do need to verbalize it if you want.
Okay. Number one, this isn't Hollywood Boulevard. Number two, this isn't a soundstage. This is the movie trivia Schmoedown, and you need to have the full name.
All right, fair enough. All right, so we're going to get to the judges in just a moment. We will have the challenge banner. We'll be back in a moment.
It's a pretty stupid challenge, if you ask me. If it was me, I would just say let it go. But you want to go for it?
We're back, and we have the combination. Although we don't have Coy Jandreau, we did get his argument before we went to challenge, and the challenge will be ruled as thus. Upon a Google search of famous Kates, C-A-T-E-S, what comes up? Most popular breed of cats, the 10 most famous cats in history, and the 14 most badass cats in history. And so Kate is a very unique name in Hollywood. However, we still needed a last name because, as Shannon Barney, the Queen of Corruption, did point out, we're not on Hollywood Boulevard. At least I am in the Valley. And so the challenge will be overruled. We will go with our original ruling, and that is Marisol Mckee gets the point. Kevin Smith does not.
Kevin has lost his challenge, and there are no challenges left for the Mercs. And now we get to the next question mark. That's question 6.
Hey, can I challenge the challenge? It does not say C-A-T-E-S. It says C-A-T-E. So the Google search could probably.
Hey, where's my gavel? Where's my gavel? No, you can't challenge the challenge. I'll say that. You can't
I would think Lady Justice would be on my side. What does she not want to find out? What's the problem here? Why can't we just go a little deeper? Is all I'm saying. I'm not saying this is Arizona, but let's recount.
All right, let's get. This is a kangaroo court. It is now 5-3. We're getting to the next one, and here we go.
Smith is correct. We're still waiting for some military and overseas ballots to come in, and maybe those are some famous Kates. But in the meantime, I do have good news, Kevin. Do you want to hear it?
I need some at this point. I lost two the lady director question, and then the famous lady actress question. I'm flailing here. Obviously, I'm going to be canceled once this hits the internet. So yes, I need some good news.
Well, your good news is as follows. Your next category for a point is in the world of comedies.
I feel like I'm living in one right now, but I'm ready.
Here's a question about another comedy, and it is, who stars as the alcoholic gunslinger, the Waco Kid, in Mel Brooks's Blazing Saddles? So, Christian, I don't hate the strategy for this reason. If you're Kevin Smith, you got to throw everything against the wall and leave it all out there on the court, even in the first round.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Not
Pens
sure
down,
I
hands
spelled
up.
his
We start
name
with
right,
Kevin on
but-
this one.
Is it Gene Wilder?
Okay. Is Gene Wilder.
Let's see the bottom.
Well, just because I know it in my head, and just because like my stoner body wrote Hackman, that doesn't that shouldn't have said Wilder.
But we can't accept it. You wrote it down. You wrote Gene Hackman down.
So many
It does,
rules.
unfortunately. It has to be written down in round number 1. I will applaud you for being the first to put your hands up, as you've done for each and every question.
This it was a good attempt. I felt like I was in school at that point. I was a good teacher. And Marisol,
I believe you were looking for Wilder.
I was. I really was. I was saying it. My hand wasn't writing it. You know, kids, you can't watch the left hand without knowing what the right hand's doing. One of those biblical things. This is one of those moments. I told you, Marisol.
well, it is 6-3 at the moment. Gene Hackman would have been an interesting choice in the film. However, it was Gene Wilder. And
hey, he could have pulled it off. Gene Hackman's an all-time
Yes,
100%. All right, here is the...
You would be so sickened by the confidence with which I wrote Hackman on that card.
I saw it. I saw it when you first heard it.
To me once.
I literally thought that in my head. I was like,
a different answer.
At least it was a Gene we all know, and not like your next door neighbor.
Something else.
I was also being such an ageist because I was like, "There's no way this kid knows who Gene Hackman is."
Well, she got Gene Wilder as well, and here we go at question 7. It is action adventure. Which 2015 action comedy stars Melissa McCarthy, Jason Statham, and Jude Law?
You know, sometimes you just have to go with the reverse. Like, for instance, what if we asked the question and we just said the first names of the 3
I know
stars?
this, but I can't pull the
I
name.
like that. We got to start doing that, though.
I know.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we're going to start with Lady Justice.
This is a profession
The
I'm
Boss?
sure you would excel at and be very subtle at, Kevin. It's a spy.
Yeah, Spy.
Kevin.
The Boss came
Spy,
out
the
the
correct
year
answer.
after that.
That is correct. All right, so we have a 7-4 ball game at the moment. This is the 8th question in round 1. Marisol Mckee at the moment has not missed. Should she get this one, she will get a bonus question. Here is the question mark.
Your final question in round number 1, for a point, is in the category of movie quotes. These are things said in talking pictures. And the question: what Oscar-winning film has the line, "It's a hell of a thing, killing a man. Take away all he's got and all he's ever gonna have"? And,
I have no idea.
Speaking of killing, Christian, currently I'm here, but in a couple hours I'll be on stage in Seattle. You can still get tickets, probably.
5, 4, 3. I'm excited about that. 2, 1.
I can tell.
Pens down, hands up, please. Pens down, hands up, please. And we're going to start with Kevin Smith.
Total guess on this one, kids. I went Unforgiven.
And you would be correct. And Marisol.
Unforgiven.
All right, so Marisol Mckee hits a perfect round, so she will get the bonus question that, Marisol, only you will have to answer. You don't have to write it down. You simply just have to answer it. Here is the question. Which actress received Oscar nominations for her performances in the films Dangerous Liaisons, The Wife, and Hillbilly Elegy? Elegy, thank you.
Elegy.
There you go.
Perfect.
I'm sure the film would have been more well received if it was called that. It is Glenn Close.
For one more point, a perfect round for Lady Justice, and sees herself now 9-5 over Kevin
Working
Smith at the
9 to
moment.
5.
9-5 as we get into round number 2. Mark, what are the rules?
Yeah, not a lot of Glens with 2 N's running around Hollywood either. But the good news is that Gene Hackman was great in Unforgiven. I will certainly say that. So now we do progress to round number 2. It's still only a 4-point game for everybody watching at home and our competitors for that matter. Round number 2 is the real round where fortunes can change mighty quick. It is the wheel of fate, of doom, and yes, Marisol, of justice. You spin that wheel, you get 4 questions. Each question is worth 2 points. There is no penalty for missing a question. However, stealing, tomfoolery, shenanigans are available in round number 2. So if you're not sure of the answer, you can ask us for multiple choice. We'll give you 4 options, one of which we're told by smart people is the answer. At that point, the value of the question recedes to 1. Lady Justice, you are in control of the board. You have a 4-point lead over your opponent. Would you like to spin that wheel first or defer to Kevin something?
As courteous as I would like to be, I want to go first.
All right, Shannon, 60 seconds starting now.
Marisol, do you know why Kirk is wearing a Bullwinkle hat and I'm wearing a crown?
Tell me.
That he's never gonna have? because crowns belong with royalty, and royalty is corruption. Okay? Did he understand that? Is he on the same planet as us? I don't know. Excellent first round. Absolutely excellent first round. I'm so glad that you were above his little head games. And I mean, maybe it wasn't a head game. Maybe he really did just reach his full potential, which is really sad to see. You know, and I think he was invited to the Oscars as a seat filler, and that matters. That's important work. It's important work. It's very important work. So let's give the man his due credit later. Okay? For now, we're gonna get that wheel up. We're gonna hopefully spin something we love, and we're gonna increase this lead. How are you feeling?
10 seconds.
I'm in agreement. I concur with everything you said.
Let's
This
do
trial
it.
isn't over, so let's continue.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. And now here is the wheel. The first spin by Lady Justice is away.
All right.
Marisol obviously looking for a big spin here.
Christian, I see courtroom movies on there. That's interesting.
Well, she's going to land on the 80s. Got 60 seconds to decide. 60 seconds to decide.
I think I would say spin again. I'm not scared of it for you, but it is the entire 1980s, and I think that we can do better. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not scared of it. But it is broad, and you know, age before beauty. I recognize I'm dealing with a gentleman who has lived well beyond my years, and is probably far more familiar with this.
Far beyond
than I
your
am.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, so I like things more. So let's give it another spin. Let's see what happens.
All right, so Marisol Mckee spinning, and here it is.
Here we go.
And
Spinning away from a decade, and it's going to be
Reese Witherspoon.
So
All
close.
right, all three repeats. Challenge if you need it. Let's do it. Let's go.
All right, so we're going to get 4 questions in the realm of Reese Witherspoon. Lady Justice, are you ready?
Yes.
Here we go. Reese Witherspoon plays Deputy District Attorney Penny Kimball in what 2014 film from director Paul Thomas Anderson?
That would be Inherent Vice.
2 points.
Okay.
What offbeat 1997 thriller stars Reese Witherspoon as a teen who runs afoul of a killer played by Kiefer Sutherland?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Fear, B, Best Laid Plans, C,
Plans.
Hideaway, D, Freeway?
Best laid plans, I guess.
Freeway.
It's correct for 1 more point. All right. Here is the next question. Which actress plays the title character opposite Reese Witherspoon in the 2006 romantic fantasy Penelope?
Christina Ricci.
2 more points. Marisol Mckee having a really good round thus far.
Yeah.
And here is the 4th question. Final one. Reese Witherspoon stars in which 1993 live-action Disney film about a group of teens who must trek across the African desert?
Multiple choice.
Is it A, Cheetah, B, A Far Off Place, C, Shipwrecked, D, Far From Home?
Cheetah, I guess. I have no idea.
And 5
D, Far From Home.
is incorrect. Kevin, for the steal, I will read the question and the multiple choice
Please try
answers.
to listen this time.
Reese Witherspoon stars in which 1993 live-action Disney film about a group of teens who must trek across the African desert? Is it A, Cheetah, B, A Far Off Place, C, Shipwrecked, D, Far From Home?
Cheetah. Hey.
La Femina Cheetah.
Also incorrect. Looking for A Far Off Place. Far Off Place.
I second guessed myself. That was my original answer.
All right, so we, at the moment, Marisol Mckee picking up some points, 14-5, so a 9-point lead over Kevin at the moment. And now Kevin will have the opportunity to spin. We're going to drop out Marisol and bring in Coy. All right, Coy, 60 seconds starting now.
All right, man. So where we're at is I see it as Shielding as a 1-point lead because you're about to get 8 points right here. Those points don't matter. We're going into this like it's tied. We're about to dive in and get 8 points. We love this wheel. There's a lot for us on it. And the way I see it is year one was Clerks, right? Impressed everybody. Everyone was going crazy. And then the beginning of this was Mallrats, a very critically challenged film that didn't do as well as it should have, but then found redemption and is now getting a well-deserved sequel. Now is the time to make Chasing Amy. Now is the time for the Comeback Kid. Now is the time to get on the Criterion list. How you feeling, man?
I feel good after that. That's a lot of Kevin Smith analogies, and I understood every single one of them. So I know exactly where I stand right now, Manager Coy.
All right.
We're going to spin that. We're going to get Chasing Amy in our hearts.
And now we bring up that wheel,
Right now
and here
it's
is the
Jason
spin by
Marisol.
Kevin Smith. And we are underway with the spin.
Round and round it goes. You just want to avoid opponent's choice. You got spinner's choice.
So spinner
Okay.
it is. So now the fate's starting to smile on Kevin Smith. Spinner's choice.
We've got a couple seconds to actually think about this. We want to go with the absolute most comfortable. Anything on that wheel whatsoever that feels like a must, that you feel like you're compelled to take on.
Matt and Ben, I think.
I'm trying to read. Can we turn the wheel?
Yeah, we got opponent's choice, Matt and Ben, young adult novel adaptation, remakes and reboots, 80s, Disney, Spinner's choice, Wizarding World, action adventure, courtroom, legal thrillers, Reese Witherspoon, Bruce Willis.
Coy?
So I would say between 80s reboots and Matt and Ben, because it doesn't matter about her, it matters about us. I'm not saying anything she can't steal. I'm focused on where your head's at. What are you feeling lately?
I'm between courtroom dramas and 80s, but Matt and Ben seems like an obvious choice.
10 seconds.
You know the 80s well, and it's going to be a little broader. Go with your gut between those two. I say narrow it down to Matt and Ben and 80s, whatever you feel.
5, 4.
Matt and Ben.
Matt and Ben.
Matt and Ben.
I think I'm playing this game all wrong, man.
What's wrong?
I knew a far off place, and I think picking Matt and Ben was a mistake. But let's go. I'm ready. I'm dialed in. Sometimes I've watched sporting events every once in a while where you see like a player just spiral, and you're like, "How does it happen?" It's happening.
Well, here is the 4 questions from Matt and Ben. Here is the category. First time, I believe the category has been used, and here we go.
That's right. Categories Matt and Ben. These are famous Matts and Bens. And your first question. For 2 points, before playing Batman, Ben Affleck had portrayed what other comic book superhero?
Daredevil. Which he
2
wrote a
points,
comic
and
book
Kevin
of.
Smith is on the board in round number 2. We chugle to the next question for 2 more points. Which actress co-stars with Matt Damon in the film We Bought a Zoo as the lead zookeeper, Kelly Foster?
Scarlett Johansson.
He's getting even last names now, Christian. He's starting to feel it. That is 2 more points. Kevin Smith, perfect through 2. His penultimate question in the category of Matt and Ben is, how many Oscars has Matt Damon won?
1.
Yeah, 1.
He's perfect through 3, Christian, and this is the comeback that Coy Jandrew had predicted for his slightly less confident competitor. 6 points so far to make it a perfect 8 points in round number 2. Here is his final question. Good enough, Smith. What is the first film that featured Matt Damon and Ben Affleck in the same cast?
School Ties.
He went perfect on his spinner's choice wedge of Matt and
didn't know
Ben,
that.
and it is a brand new ball game now, Christian, because it is 14 for Lady Justice, 13 for Good
How'd you
Enough
like
Smith.
them apples?
We got a pretty clean slate here.
We have a very clean slate. It's a 1-point ball game going into the 3rd and final round. Mark, what are the rules for round number 3?
Round number 3, this is the round that will determine the match, unless we go to sudden death overtime, which we're pretty prepared for it. And so what we need from each competitor in round number 3 is a series of numbers. These numbers may range from 1 to 20. Each numeral corresponds to a unique category of movie, trivia, Schmoedown, mystery. Your first question is going to be worth 2 points. Your next one is worth 3 points. Your final question is worth 5 big points. There's no penalty for missing a question, and there is no stealing in round number 3. Lady Justice, It was a big lead, and now it's a 1-point lead, but you still retain control of the board, and you have the right to give us your 3 lucky numbers first. From 1 to 20, what feels fortunate?
Let's start with 8. Let's go with 14, and let's end with 4.
8, 14, and 4 for Marisol and for Kevin.
3, 7, and 16.
3, 7, and 16 for good enough. 60 seconds, Shannon, starting now.
All right. Not a bad place to be. A 1-point lead is a 1-point lead. All right. So I need you to clear your head. I need you to relax and focus because you got 3 questions more than likely coming your way. The good news is you were so strong in round 3 that I fully believe that if you have to answer all 3 of these questions, you're going to do it with no problem. Okay. You have all of your repeats. You have your challenge. I know the expectation that you set on yourself. Let it go. Let it go right now and just relax. Okay. How are you feeling? How's your headspace right now?
My headspace is good. I told you this humility was all a ruse.
Of course.
I told you. And I'm still keeping an eye on this guy for performance-enhancing substances.
Well, they clearly aren't working now.
We got whittled. That happens, and I'm still ahead, and the game is not over. And this trial is not over.
No,
So,
ma'am.
yes, I'm focused. I'm here, queen, and let's finish this game.
That's my girl. Let's do it.
Chasing Amy, we chased her. We're there. It's now Dogma season. Creative freedom is upon us, making crazy stuff. I am so happy as a Bostonian that the honorary brothers from Boston got us here. And I didn't even mention checking down to multiple choice because I trusted you to have that. I literally didn't want us to go there because you went perfect without even second guessing it. So what I want you to do this round is we've got 3 JTEs, 3 repeat if needed. So remember in the first round where you got mad at yourself about like, oh, I needed 1 more second and I had that? In this round, remember, you've got those extra seconds. You can take your time. You can think. You've got all 3 of them. You know this. This is yours. We use the lucky numbers. 37 has never steered you wrong. It's not about to now. It's all yours. How you doing?
You're my boy, Coy. I'm in the zone. I hope I get these.
It's time. We woke up. We're into it. Let's get that belt. Let's go after Dan.
Our competitors are here. And now round number 3 is about to begin. We're going to start with Kevin Smith, who's going to try to bounce it back to Marisol. He chose category 3, Mark, and that is in the realm of action-adventure.
Action-adventure pictures for Kevin Smith. Kevin, this is to take your first lead of the ball game. For 2 points, the question is, this film stars Patrick Swayze, C. Thomas Howell, and Charlie Sheen as young men who defend their town from invading Russians.
Red Dawn.
Kevin Smith
Previously mentioned in the
has
match.
the lead.
Kevin Smith has the lead. So now we bounce over to Marisol Mckee. She chose category 8, and that would be Disney films. Disney films would be category 8.
All right. For 2 points, your question. To regain the lead, Lady Justice, in the world of Disney, what classic Disney animated film is known for the song Hi-Ho?
Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs.
All 7 of them. She got the number right. That is correct. And it is back to Lady Justice with a 1-point lead. So we go back to Good Enough Smith to see if he can hit his 3-pointer once again to
And with
reclaim
that,
the
I
lead.
have now answered
That's right.
7
And he chose
questions
category 7. Category
how that
7
happens.
for Kevin Smith, and that would be Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks
America's
would
granddad.
be the question, and here it is.
Somewhere between America's dad and America's grandpa at this point. Tom Hanks. Your question, Kevin, for 3 points and once again for the lead. Which sitcom actress plays Tom Hanks' wife in the 1986 film The Money Pit?
Shelley Long.
A lot of people say my mom looks a lot like her, and they're correct. So are you for 3 points, and it is now a 2-point lead for Good Enough Smith. Christian, could you have guessed we would have been here in round number 1?
Round number 1, that is correct from what we were looking at, and now we have a 3-pointer for Marisol Mckee. She chose category 14, which puts her with romantic comedies.
Romantic comedies. These are also known as rom-coms.
To
And
some
your question. for 3 points and the lead. This 2001 film, starring Renee Zellweger, follows a year in the life of a British woman who is determined to improve herself while she looks for love.
Bridget Jones's Diary.
I hear it's a good read as well. That is correct for 3 points, and here is where we stand. It is once again a 1-point lead for Marisol Lady Justice McKee, and that bounces back to Kevin Goodenough Smith for a 5-pointer. He's got to have.
So if Kevin Smith hits this, it bounces back to Marisol McKee, and she will have to win it on her 5. However, if he misses this question, Marisol McKee will go on to play for the singles championship. All right, Kevin, for category number 16,
just jump back
it
to
chose the category of
I wasn't expecting
comedy.
that, but
Comedy.
Ha 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 ha. But yeah, here we go.
All right, for 5 points, and more importantly, the lead in the world of comedy. Leslie Nielsen plays the President of the United States, Baxter Harris, in what 2003 spoof film featuring Queen Latifah, George Carlin, and Ja Rule?
Huh? Spoof film, Queen Latifah? Wow.
5, 4.
Scary movie?
Makes sense.
And your winner, ladies and gentlemen, Lady Justice Marisol Mckee. The answer was Scary Movie 3.
Dang it!
Scary Movie 3 was the answer. And it is by 2 movies.
By 2 movies.
Kevin Smith missed only by 2 movies, and Marisol McKee is going. Is Kevin waving for a challenge?
He's out of challenges, unfortunately.
I can watch the tape. Somebody starts screaming before I'm finished with my answer. I say scary movie, and I'm about to put a number on it, and then somebody starts screaming, and the screen disappears. So,
You guys, what is this preferential treatment? Why is he still speaking? He has no challenges.
He doesn't.
We didn't get a final answer. We didn't get a final answer called.
all of a sudden, somebody starts screaming.
He does not have a challenge to massage everybody out there watching right now. I will levy a ruling, regardless of whether a challenge has happened or not, is that there is in the rule book a grace period of about 1 second at the judge's discretion. Kevin Smith had said scary movie, and it was about 1 second later that the screaming had started. And so that is, unfortunately for Kevin Smith, who played a magnificent game, the final judgment here. It was Scary Movie 3, not Scary Movie. And the movie trivia Schmoedown is a razor-thin margin between winning and losing. And that is what we just witnessed in one of the all-time great matches.
I feel Christian lost it for me. I'm going to say that on the record.
I know the man knows his Carlin. I know the man knows his Carlin.
I was sitting there being dramatic, presentationally and stuff, and all of a sudden somebody called the match prematurely. This is like Heaven Can Wait, when Warren Beatty was pulled out of his body by Buck Henry. Like
there was a hanging Chad. To go back to the metaphor earlier, there was a hanging Chad, and it was the number 3, and I think it was attached.
Well, right, unfortunately,
you guys, these shenanigans don't fly in the court of corruption. Get off my screen.
Unfortunately, shenanigans or no, there are no more challenges for the Quirky Mercs, so we do have to let them go.
There's an asterisk next to this.
Well, either way, asterisks or not, Marisol McKee is officially the number 1 contender and will be going on to play for the singles championship next month. She is the number 1 contender, now standing at 5-1. Congratulations to Marisol and to Shannon. We are going to put you in the waiting room where you will be talking to Jen Sturger momentarily. 4 massive points for corruption. And what a fight it was, minus the shenanigans, whatever might have happened at the end there, too. It was a lot of fun. The match was fun because Kevin fought back from, I mean, it looked like it was almost lights out after. I mean, you look at what Marisol did. It was like 9 or 10 points. Fought back with Matt and Ben, hits his 2, hits his 3, and then just missed it. Regardless, there was a pause, as you said, inside of the rule book. Sounded like Scary Movie to me. I stand by it. But nonetheless, Marisol McKee goes on to win, and now she will be facing for the championship. And we are going to hear from Marisol Mckee and Shannon in just a moment here, Mark.
And even without the benefit of instant replay, I will admit it was a very close call, but it was the correct judgment. And for Kevin Smith, I mean, somebody who appeared at least, maybe tactically, maybe realistically, to emotionally bury himself before the match had even begun, he pulled his way out of that pit and came to within a 5-pointer. Like you said, he was within the right franchise of regaining the lead, and who knows whether Marisol Mckee would have hit her 5-pointer, but the way that she played today, Christian, indicates she wasn't going to miss.
No, not at all. From the way that she played today, and she has been, look, she's 5-1. She's played so well. Now she finds herself, as we mentioned earlier, she is now going to, since Clark Wolf, she will be the first woman to challenge for the championship since 2018, 3 years ago. So here we go. Marisol Mckee, the #1 contender to the Movie Trivia Schmoedown Championship, is now standing by with Jen Sturger. Jen?
Marisol, I have to ask you, how does it feel to hear #1 contender in front of your name?
I mean, hey, all respect to Smith. I feel high as a kite right now. I mean, I feel pretty great.
I'm happy, feeling glad I got sunshine.
It's pretty exciting. It was earned. I'll say that, and it feels pretty great.
I have to say though, Kevin Smith kept you kind of on the edge of your seat and fighting the entire match. Were you a little surprised at that?
No, I told you. I knew. Okay, I stand by everything I said before. All right, I could see the killer beneath those eyes, behind those eyes. I can see it, and I knew he was leading me into a false sense of security. I knew it. I knew that was his plan the whole time.
Tell me though, what went through your head when he hit Matt? When he chose Matt and Ben?
No, here we go.
Of course,
it was the right call on his part, and he swept the board, something that I failed to do in my round 2. And the court recognizes, as I said before, it recognizes, where it recognizes a clean sweep when it happens. But as we can see at the end, his closing argument wasn't strong enough. I think that's pretty apparent.
Yep.
So justice rolled out.
So now you're the #1 contender, first woman since Clark Wolf to play for the title. How does that feel to have that kind of legacy to follow?
It is. It's indescribable. It's like looking up at a mountain, and knowing that I guess I got to climb it. But yeah, it's an honor, first and foremost. It's an honor and a responsibility and a duty that I'm not going to take lightly. And I'm going to carry it in my heart and in my brain every single step of the way moving here forward. For the women that have come before me and the women that I know are going to follow after me, that are going to play alongside me and follow after me. So it's an honor, and it's something that I play for beyond just playing for myself, because that's important too. I play for myself, #1, because we all should play for ourselves. We all should be our #1 fans first before anything else. But right behind that is all of this. Like I said, the women before me and the women after me. And it's a lot, but it's an honor and it's thrilling.
Shannon, you made that trade to get Marisol back at the beginning of the season. Does that all just kind of seem worth it now?
I mean, it was worth it from the very beginning. It was my sole intention to make sure she found her way home. And we made it happen. I don't care if Grace's red hair is turning gray with the stress she must be under seeing this happening to her. But I, quite frankly, don't give a damn. Yes, I told everyone since day one, we're getting them back. We're getting Marisol back, and it will be worth it. And it has been more than worth it.
Corruption keeps fighting back, Shannon. I mean, look, there's Marisol, Mike, Chance. How are you feeling about their match against Shazam tonight?
Oh, I'm so amped up for this match against Shazam. I am so ready to watch everything that they've worked for. I want to take out 2 sets of mercs in a night. It'd be amazing. It would be an honor. And speaking of an honor and a privilege, what a privilege and what an absolute sincere honor it must have been for the guy from Harold and Kumar to face Lady Justice in the ring today. Incredible for him. I'm very.
Do you want to tell her or?
Oh, I love that movie. No.
Oh, well, congratulations, ladies, on a fantastic victory today, and best of luck, Marisol.
All right, so Marisol Mckee takes the victory. She has now become the #1 contender and will go on to face the champion next month. Next month, Marisol Mckee officially the #1 contender. Mark, this was a hell of a fight between both Kevin Smith and Marisol Mckee.
It's just, I mean, listen to those two names you just said. You know, you have a rising star in the movie trivia Schmoedown who's announced herself to the world. You have an established celebrity who loves competing in movie trivia, and it's all under this little house that we built, but it's these kinds of personalities that make it a home. And to see the confidence that Lady Justice still has in that interview, she was like she could go another 3, maybe 5 rounds right now if we asked her to. And then you look at the side of the quirky Mercs. And let's talk about Kevin Goodenough Smith for just a second, because to show the mental fortitude to come back after just only trailing by 3 to 5 points, but then just being so down on himself, he managed to will his way back into the ball game and reclaim the lead twice in round number 3. And you think back to a match that we recently had, the Drew McWeeny Barbarian match, where it's just that razor thin, and that's why challenges are so crucial sometimes when it is just that beat. It's not even a second, it's that 0.01 of a second that could make the difference in any given match. It started out as a fun bar trivia at the end of a podcast, and now look at the beast it's become. And we're proud to have everybody in here, including Coy Jandreau and Kevin Smith, who I believe we're about to hear from, if I'm not mistaken, Christian.
Yeah, let's throw to Jen Sturger and Coy Jandreau and Kevin Smith.
Look, I know this is new territory for you. I have to ask you though, do you think like your mindset going into this match played into any of the end results? Like, were you just not quite sure enough of yourself to pull that last answer?
No, not at all. I honestly, you go watch. It's performative. I'm going. I say scary movie, and then I'm like, I thought I was putting on a show. I honestly feel like Christian pulled the trigger too fast. I think my heaven can wait analogy is spot on. And you know, I think it's weird that the judges are the same people that pulled the trigger too prematurely. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying conspiracy. I just think Dan messed up. Like, I don't think they had it in to Marisol to win, but I think, is that your final answer? I think we should go back and watch other matches to see if Christian comes in that quickly. But, you know, I don't want to sound like a sore loser, but I don't feel I lost that one the way I lost it. I probably would have lost it legit by 1 point to Marisol when she got the next question, but I think in his zeal to announce the winner, I think Christian kind of screwed me over.
And I think the George Carlin of it all is a factor for me. Is that is definitely where I stand with. I know your knowledge of a very certain icon and
literally his final film. He shot that after he shot Jersey Boy. So, and we had to wait like a year. So it's all fun and whatnot, but I legit feel like Christian kind of pooched my game right
So
there.
wait, are you guys saying this is the Boston screw job, essentially?
I'm saying we won by Boston and we may have lost by Boston.
I don't think it's a conspiracy, but I do think that he got too excited and he jumped. There was too much oh my God, but it's like,
well, it wouldn't be the first time this season.
Like, there's no request for a final answer or anything like that. There was no clock. There was no I ran out of time. It was just too much enthusiasm, I feel. And I don't know, it kind of poisons the well a little bit for me, kids.
To go back to the metaphor that I was playing with through round 2, we did experience so much of the ISK universe, but the thing that happens after Dogma is you do strike back. So I feel if there was ever a time for Silent Bob to strike back, it's after a loss that involves a certain moment of perhaps indiscrepancy, and I think that's what happened with Jay and Silent Bob, and they did okay. I think you come back.
Discrepancy, not indiscrepancy.
Oh, that's another thing entirely. Thank you.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right, though. You missed the target but hit the tree, Coy. There is a discrepancy.
Story of his life, Kevin.
Yeah.
But I have to say, you had to have been feeling pretty good when you were able to, have your choice with Matt and Ben in the second round. That was kind of you. That was you roaring back.
I did. Thank God. that I kind of ran that category. Boy, it would have been terrible if I didn't, run the category at the very least on those two guys. They were deep cuts questions though. I was happy about that too. I don't feel like I won on any easy things. I will definitely be beating myself up for not saying far away place because it was like that was in the video store at RST Video where I worked, as was Cheetah. And at the last, and I knew it was, a far off place, but the last second I was like, wait a second, was Reese in that Cheetah movie? Was she on the cover? I was like, did that go first? And I went with that. So I'll kick myself for that. I'm haunted by Reese Witherspoon anyway in life in general. So it stands to reason that, she was my jinx.
Also, we lost one.
I'm going to go back to it. The bigger jinx is the host who ends the show before the show is over.
I just don't want you to hold that against me, okay? Big fan over here.
Not at all. I've never seen that in game show history. I've been watching game shows for damn near 50 years. I never saw Richard Dawson jump in and interrupt somebody before they finish their response. Like,
there was a bit of irony that it was Reese Witherspoon, though.
That was an old Reese question. The irony was that it was a movie. Like, again, I worked with George Carlin. He shot his Scary Movie 3 thing after we shot Jersey Girl. So like I was in the zone. I was just, but performance. That'll teach you kids. Don't put on a show. Be like the Lady Justice and just give your answers and stuff. But I was sitting there going, Scary Movie, and then I was going for my number because in my head I was like 1, 2, 3, and then I was about to land.
That's what I thought was happening.
That's what was happening. That's the sad truth. And then yet, Christian, who brought me into this league, almost single-handedly took me out with a premature.
Well, we're not letting you leave that easily, sir.
He sellied and ruined my chances at winning. He went all celebration on Marisol, and then suddenly it was all over for me.
That's why you got to stick around for some redemption, though. Because look, you're 3-1. All right,
how do I redeem myself against a crooked system? David's we've just seen it.
Well, maybe a rematch with Jericho for starters. He's been really wanting one.
Jericho, my match was with Christian.
You just want to run this back right now? We can't do that.
I'm saying, if I'm ever going to rematch anybody, it's like pull Christian into let us switch seats and let me cut him off so that he loses prematurely.
I think there's two great scenarios. I think one is there's a tournament coming up, a singles tournament, and Kevin comes back and runs it and shows people. Because frankly, at the end of the day, this was a #1 contender. Everyone doubted Kevin both years, and he just took on easily one of the greatest champions the sport has ever seen, and he pushed her all the way through, and he knew 2 answers that were clear as day. He'd written down a Gene, he'd written down a Kate. Those were known. He would have won this in a different headspace. He would have won this in a different scenario. He would have won this maybe if we were live versus digital. So I argue tournament, we definitely make a thing. We'll have a conversation, but also maybe an exhibition against Christian.
Never mind what I didn't or didn't know. I could have had a chance at winning this if I wasn't cut off prematurely. Watch back.
We're gonna have to roll the tape back into the left, back into the left.
Yes.
Back it up. Well, tough loss today, Kevin, but it's always a blast to see you compete and a pleasure to see your face on my screen.
Kids, never try. The system is against you.
And Coy, you're here too.
I showed up. I hit the tree.
Whatever. Bye.
Well, that makes you feel awful.
I'm just cleansing everybody's timeline, but I will say this, Christian. Look, if there is ever an exhibition between you and Kevin Smith, I know 2 announcers that are currently right here that would be happy to call it. All I'm saying.
Molly calling a match would be interesting.
You can't win. You can't win. I will say this, and I'll tell Kevin off air, and I'll tell Kevin on air. I had nothing but the most respect for Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith to me is one of my idols, and the fact to think that I was cutting him off or anything too. I played the game, I listened to the game the way that we've always listened to the game, and I heard that particular thing happen, and I made the call. So,
I think this is one of the things of being a host is that you're also an announcer, you're also a referee, and there's going to be controversy. We've all been mired in, but at the end of the day, we're there to give you a show. And folks, boy, did you see a show today in every phase of the game, in every word. Doesn't matter if it's Kate Blanchett or Phoebe Cates. There's a lot of famous Cates with C's out there, but you talk about the 3 C's that won this match today, Christian. Cool, calm, collected. That's what Marisol Mckee, Lady Justice, brought to the table.
Well, either way, Marisol Mckee is the number 1 contender. She will go on for the championship. And now I am going to throw back to Jen Sturger in studio.
Thank you so much, guys. I'm here with Commissioner Jay Washington. Jay, it's a pleasure to...
Well, it was a pretty fun match. It's always a treat whenever Kevin Smith is playing, but I think he needs to get his head out of some other stuff and into the game if he really wants to play the game the way it's meant to be played, and if he wants people to take him seriously. Because I fully believe what he was trying to push, that he was going to go with scary movie and then pause and then 3. I believe him when he says that this ain't how you play the game. And Matt Atchity ran into a very similar thing once, when he, in the speed round, he tried to play up a character, do a performance. Characters are great in between rounds. You don't do a character like that in the question. So I think Coy trying to come in at the last second to defend him, that was kind of pointless. The challenge, I think, was pointless. Okay, so Kate Blanchett is the only Kate that spells her name that way. So what? You still need the full name of the actress if you want to get the point. So yeah, that's what. And if they still had that, maybe they could have challenged there right at the end, but what happened, and yeah, he knew Gene Wilder, he wrote down Gene Hackman. Yeah, a lot of things just did not go his way this match, and like I said, I think he needs to get his head out of some. It's perfectly fine to do that any other day of the week, but maybe just not do that while you're competing. Maybe that'll help. But anyways, as I mentioned, I only got 7 questions right in this round. So yeah, I wasn't planning on getting any questions right anyways. But this was the first half of the Quirky Mercs versus Corruption. The second half is about to begin. As far as I'm concerned, the event itself is over, as you may have noticed. But yeah, it's not over for me. And actually, I don't know if I can. Look, it's already past 4 in the morning. It's past 4:20, and I'm getting pretty tired, and I've got work tomorrow. So, unfortunately, I hate to do this, but I'm going to sleep because I just can't stay up another hour or so to watch the last match of Collision. But I will be ready as soon as I get back home from work tomorrow to watch Shazam versus Corruption. I'm just sorry to bring down the mood, but my mind is starting to drift, and I'd hoped to watch the full event, but like I said, I had a bunch of stuff I needed to do before the event, and considering the match ended a while ago, I probably would have been able to watch all 4 matches back to back to back to back, but not right now, Derek. So yeah, this is where I leave you, and I will catch you all tomorrow with the final match of Collision 4. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye, everybody. Hello again, everybody. I really hope you enjoyed this video, because I really enjoyed making it. So, if you like what you've seen here, please remember to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more awesome content like this. So, until next time, guys, I'll see you guys next time.